Hello and welcome. I'm Roger Foisy, principal lawyer at Foisy Associates. I'm here with Harpreet Sidhu, Daniel Berman, Celia De Silva, and Russell Aloshi. Here's the truth about insurance companies. They're not in the business of paying out more than they have to. So when they offer you a lump sum settlement after an accident, it's not out of the kindness. It's a business decision. But for you, the injured person, that decision can shape your entire life. So in today's episode, we're pulling back the curtain on no-fault settlements and what you really need to consider before agreeing to close your claim. Let's start from the top, Harpreet. What is a no-fault accident benefit?
So in Ontario, every auto insurance claim comes with something known as the statutory accident benefit schedule. These are benefits that you're entitled to regardless of whether you're at fault for an accident or not, which is why it's known as a no-fault system. It includes things like medical rehabilitation benefits, attendant care, income replacement benefits. Depending on the severity of your injury, it could also include housekeeping benefits. What's important for people to understand about this regime under the statutory accident benefit schedule is that these are medical benefits, or benefits you can say. It's not compensation, which is a completely different system. And that's something that people should keep in mind when they are dealing with their insurance company, who may at some point approach them about entering into a lump sum settlement. Again, it's not compensation for your accident, it's benefits.
Daniel, this is something that you have helped many clients navigate. Why would clients consider an actual offer or a settlement of their accident benefits?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think clients need to consider first what the insurance company's motives are. So the insurance company is trying to limit their exposure, one. And second, they're also trying to close the claim so they can stop paying future benefits for many years. Now, from the client's perspective, there are reasons to settle a claim. That could be closure after several years. It could be immediate access to funds, more direction over how they can use their funds for treatment, as well as not dealing with insurance adjusters and insurance companies and all the paperwork and treatment plans. So for some scenarios, it may be beneficial to actually settle a claim earlier, but each case is different, and clients need to be aware of many different things before they decide to actually settle their claim with the insurance company.
Now, Celia, I think you will agree, working in no-fault accident benefits, that we often see one of the biggest mistakes clients make is settling too early.
Exactly. What we find is oftentimes people settle their claims way too early, and they may still be at the early stages and not really understand to the full extent what their injuries are or what their future needs may be. And insurers often approach people to settle their claims while they're still in active therapy. They might be feeling better, so they're maybe a little bit hopeful, but they still don't have a good picture of what the future might come. And that's right there is the problem, because if you settle your claim too early, that's it. There's no more money left. And if you realize after the fact that your injuries are not fully resolved and you need more treatment, it's too late. You can't go back to the insurance company and ask for more treatment or ask for more equipment or ask them to supplement your loss of income.
So what do we look at before advising someone to settle their accident benefits?
So we look at a few things. One, we want to make sure that the client's condition is stabilized. We want to make sure that we have an understanding what the future might hold, what the future care plan looks like. We analyze the benefits that the client has utilized to date. And then we want to look at the offer itself. Is the offer taking into consideration the current needs and the future needs? Because that's important. If we haven't considered what the future needs are, that could be problematic with the client not getting the care that they continue to require ongoing. And the way we ensure that we do this is we often hire treatment providers or experts who will look at everything and assess the future care, so that when the client is considering an offer, they can take into consideration what their future needs are, and they'll have a better understanding where they may be in 5 or 10 years from now.
So we're giving them all the information so that they're well informed about making that final decision,
Correct.
which usually or most often can never be turned around.
Before settling, you need to know what your recovery looks like long term so that you have a plan down the road.
Danny, maybe you can inform us more about the risks of early settlement.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people don't realize what they're giving up when they settle early. Once they actually enter a lump sum settlement for their accident benefits, they lose their availability to future funding for treatment, to income replacement benefits, to attendant care benefits, and they're even precluded for applying for the next stage of benefits, which could be catastrophic claims. So clients need to be aware of when they're signing that document to settle their claim, they're done. They don't have access to any more treatment, to any higher forms of treatment, and that's it.
So really, this is a binding agreement, and most people don't have the knowledge or understanding of really appreciating the context of what a final binding settlement can actually be. Harpreet?
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate part is that insurers know. People don't necessarily have the knowledge, especially if they don't have legal representation, but insurance companies know. They deal with thousands of claims. And so the unfortunate piece about it is that clients are taken advantage of by insurance companies if they don't have legal representation or competent legal representation. That's going to protect them in that event. Clients may be exhausted, overwhelmed, just completely drained by the insurance process, and that's prime opportunity for an insurance company to swoop in and offer a lump sum settlement to kind of put clients outside of their misery. The problem is that might mean that you haven't necessarily taken into account your long-term needs.
Right, and all that being said, it's important to obviously recognize that a settlement does have value. It really can be beneficial for clients. It can be positive. The key element is really appreciating what your future is going to, what your future needs are. And if you're in the right stage of your recovery, it really can be beneficial because it allows you to take back control of your own recovery rather than asking for permission from an insurance adjuster who may or may not be very familiar with your case. They change hands all the time, these claims. And so adjusters aren't always well aware of how to manage a case. And as a victim of an injury, you want to take care of yourself and have as much autonomy as possible. So it is obviously possible for these settlements to be reasonable. The key here is knowing what your future really might entail and planning for it financially and making sure that your settlement includes all of that. Making sure that all of the benefits that you had access to, you will continue to have access to if you need them.
So in the right circumstances, it can offer real value and peace of mind. I think we'd all agree with that.
Yeah, the problem is that insurers know that. People don't necessarily have the knowledge, like you said, but insurers do, and they will take advantage of clients that don't have the legal representation or don't necessarily have competent legal representation. And so clients may be at a point where they're feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, just drained by the entire insurance process, and they want a divorce from their insurance company. There may be circumstances where that could be the right decision, but the most kind of important thing that a client can do is get legal advice in that situation to know whether it is the best decision for them at that time.
Right. And all this is not to say that a settlement cannot be beneficial. It can offer real value and peace of mind, depending on the person's recovery. If they are transitioning to more long-term care, if they have already overcome the majority of the hurdles in their recovery, and if they have a good idea of what their future recovery might look like, it can offer the opportunity for individuals to take back their future and take back the management of their own future care, rather than leaving it in the hands of an adjuster at an insurance company who may or may not have your best interests or even may not know what your best interests really are. as they are often overwhelmed with work and they don't necessarily know every case to the last detail. If you have planned and are well aware of what your future recovery is going to look like, and you have captured all of that within the settlement and the financial amount takes all of that into account, of course, a settlement can be a very good idea and a very good opportunity for you to move on with your life.
So in the right circumstances and the appropriate value, you can receive peace of mind with settling. And I think we all agree that that's what the ultimate outcome is for most clients who come to see us. They would like to resolve. They just want it to be, reasonable, and they want it to make sense for them.
To be fair.
Absolutely. And of course, that's where we come in. I mean, people come to us to expect us to give them some proper legal advice, to take a look at actually the entire offer that might be presented in front of them and whether it's actually going to help resolve their future. So are we getting a reasonable settlement that is actually going to take care of their future? And I think once they have that broken down, they can, for themselves, make that decision because now they are properly informed.
Right. And what we do, what we take off of their shoulders is we handle the negotiation. We handle part of the planning for the future so they can feel informed when they are ready to make this judgment call about what their settlement value should be like. That is one of the key elements of what the legal representation can do for a client.
Excellent. Thank you, Russell. Now, let's go over what we've actually covered today. Harpreet, can we start with you?
Yeah. No-fault benefits. They're available to anybody injured in a motor vehicle accident in Ontario. Includes things like medical rehabilitation benefits, attendant care, and much more.
Danny, what do you have to offer?
Well, insurance companies may offer people a lump sum settlement, but that settlement, it doesn't mean it's the right amount or even the right time. So people have to be aware of those two issues before they're settling their claim.
Russell?
With the right legal advice, you can feel confident and you can be ready to take on a settlement and take on the insurance company.
If you've been injured in an accident and you're considering settling your no-fault claim, or you've received an offer from an insurance company, let's talk. Visit injurylawyercanada.com to learn more about settling with your insurance company and whether it's the right decision for you. Or reach out to our team for a consultation. We'd be happy to walk you through your case and help you understand your options before signing anything. Thanks for being with us today. Until next time, take care, stay safe.